Hey everyone, and welcome back to Financial Wealth Community. Today we are diving into a topic that's not just about crunching the numbers, but it's really a plan, it's a tool that's going to help you to achieve your goal of financial freedom. It's all about budgeting. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips and trips that's going to really help you on your journey to financial freedom, where we are going to be building wealth one step at a time. Now, I talk to a lot of people about budgeting. I run courses, and on one of my courses, it is one of the main steps. Apart from the one that deals with your mindset, and your relationship with money, it is the next biggest step on my course because it's where everything begins with a budget. So here's what I say to you. If you don't have a budget, or if you have your budget in your head, okay, so if you don't have a visual one and you don't have one that you don't review periodically, then don't do a budget. However, if you definitely want to know how to manage your money better and you want to grow in your financial journey, then a budget is the tool that you need. So what is a budget? Well, a budget is basically a financial planning tool. It's what's going to get you from a particular destination to achieving your financial goals. So you're going to look at where you are today and then how you can get to where it is or achieve what it is that you want to achieve on your financial journey. So budgeting, there's lots of ways that you can budget, and I say look for a way or find a way that works for you. There's some strategies you can use. There's one called the 50-30-20 strategy. It's not one I use myself, but it may resonate with you. This is where you spend 50% on what you need of your income, this is. So you have your income and you spend 50% on what you actually need. 30% you spend on what you want to spend it on. And 20% is on savings, or if you have debt and you're doing debt management. So that's the 50-30-20 rule. There's also another one called the zero budgeting something, ZBB. Can't remember what the other B is for, but it's kind of one that I subscribe to. And it's basically where you can account for pretty much where every pound of your money has gone. So you have a plan for all of it. Now, don't let this sound restrictive to you. Basically, what I do is I basically have different pots for everything to go to. So I have a pot for entertainment. I have a pot for my savings. I have different areas that I know I want to direct my flow of money to. So that's my expenses, where I want it to go to. So pretty much once I've done my budget, the balance is zero. Okay, so that's kind of one I subscribe to. My main thing is I don't care how you do it, just do it. So how is it that you do this thing called budgeting? Well, the first step would be that you would look at all your income, right? So where do you get your money from? And that's usually one most people, well, especially if you're employed, find easy to do. So you will basically look at your employment, for example, and if it's the same every month, it's pretty straightforward. However, if you run a business or if you're self-employed, it's a bit harder to keep track of that. And that's something else I'll talk about on a different video when I'm talking about managing your business finances, because you kind of need that cash flow forecast to go hand in hand with your budget. However, back to today's video. So you would have your income and then you have your expenses. And the reason why I say to write it down or to at least monitor it, track it, let's call it track your expenses, is because this is the side that a lot of people can't tell me. If I say to them, how much did you spend on your food last month? A lot of people won't be able to give me that answer because they don't track it. They have no idea. I actually did a coaching session with someone, and she was going through a massive life change and she was extremely stressed out about it. And she reached out to me and I arranged to meet with her and we had a one-to-one. And basically this is what I started with her budget. Now, she was very stressed because this life change she thought was going to mean she couldn't continue living how she had lived in the past. However, when we looked at the numbers, so we did do some number crunching, yes. When we looked at the numbers and we worked out what her income was and where all her money could go, she was pleasantly surprised. Now, to me, it was something simple because it's something I do anyway as part of my business and for my own personal expenses. It's what I automatically do. But for somebody who doesn't automatically do that, she just didn't think about looking at the numbers, and she needed some guidance and help in how to do that. So I did that with her. The next day, she sent me a wonderful message in the morning, how she had slept the best she had slept for a number of nights, just because now she could see visually how things were going to be okay. I immediately saw, when I was going through the numbers with her, I saw her shoulders start to relax. I saw the smile start to appear on her face. So I already knew that it was having a positive effect on her just by doing this one exercise of her budget. So look, there's lots of apps that you can use. I mean, I'm still a bit old school. I prefer to use a spreadsheet. But what I say to people is, even if you don't know how to use a spreadsheet, pen and paper will do. The most important thing is that you actually do it. So I start with my income. I have the income at the top of my spreadsheet. And then what I do is I then list all of my expenses. Now, one exercise I do suggest people do is track that food shopping. So any food items or household items that you spend, track it for a month, because that's going to give you a more realistic indication of what that number is. Again, I've done this exercise with a group of parents before, and some of them were scared to do it because they knew they spent a lot on food and shopping, and it's something they never tracked. One lady was pleasantly surprised. It was like, okay, I didn't realize that's all I need to spend, and I don't actually spend that much. Another one was horrified. She could not believe how much she was spending. And it's just because she didn't know, and she never ever tracked it. So definitely track those. The food one is the biggest one that most people can't track. Another tip is to go back through your bank statement. So go back through your bank statement, and then you'll see all those direct debits, all those memberships that you're paying for that you never use. Okay, never use. Go through those and list them all out and see exactly what that figure comes to. And then forecast it. So do it over a few months. So what I do is I put my budget, and I may have an annual budget, which might not be so strict. And then I'll break it down maybe into quarters for the year, and I will review it. So this is the tip that you need to do. There's no point having a budget that you look at, you set it up. Oh, I now know, and it's brilliant. You need to review it. You need to periodically go back and check that you're sticking to your budget. So a lot of people think it's restrictive, right? A budget is restrictive. It is not. It is you telling your money where you want it to go. You're in control of those expenses. You get to choose where you want it to go. Yes, I hear you. You may say to me, no, Jackie, all my income comes in and then it all goes out on bills. There's nothing left. And that is very true for a lot of people. If that's the case, then what you then have to look at is ways that you may be able to reduce your expenses, ways that you may be able to increase your income. So is there something else you can do that's going to give you that little extra? So that little side hustle that's going to help you. And I'm going to give you some more information on that another time. So that's basically what you need to do. Track your expenses, and then you'll see that figure at the end. Does it work out? Do I have enough now left to pay more off of my debt, for example? Or can I save more? By doing this exercise, it's going to answer so many questions for you. It may be that, for example, you want to go on holiday, or you want to buy a car, or you want to save up for a deposit. By having this visual plan, you're now able to see when and at what point you can get to your destination, which is only going to help you be disciplined, right? So you need to be disciplined to be able to do that. So I've been reading this book called The Psychology of Money. Really, really good, really good book. And I was actually watching a YouTube video of the author on there. And he said, he's an American guy, and he basically said that there are roughly every 10 years a major event happens. He's American, so he was talking about 9/11 happened and really affected the economy, and then obviously COVID happened, right? So sometimes we cannot plan for these massive eventualities, but what we can do is mitigate against the big impacts that they can have. So that's when we talk about saving for a rainy day, or saving for these unexpected events that we know can happen. And it could be more personal events that happens to us, or it could be on a global level. So having your budget lets you know how much you can actually save comfortably, put away for those type of events. And also we've got to live, right? So then you want to I have an entertainment budget. I definitely have an entertainment pot that I put my money away for things that I want to do, things that fun that I want to do, for events that I want to attend. So it's not all about being restrictive, but it's about you knowing what you have and which pot you want it to go to. Thank you all for listening on another episode from Financial Wealth Community. And I'm going to leave you with this reminder. It was by Benjamin Franklin, who says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So remember, a budget is a planning tool. See you on the next one. Thank you.